okay, we'll move on. But like now, it's like people are like, whoa, oh my god, like fucking, oh, they changed her. How am I supposed to jack off to this? Like, what the fuck? Welcome, Nerd Chatter, a weekly podcast where we discuss stories throughout the week from the film, gaming, and tech industries. Got Lucas here today with me. What up, man?
What up, dude?
On this week's show, just have a hefty roundup to go over. But before we get going, depending on what platform you're listening to the show on, make sure to hit that follow or subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, both of those would be great. So yeah, typically we have a big story to go over or something to discuss, chit chat a little bit, drag it out. But there's so many small stories this week that it's like, let's just get in the roundup. Like, there's James Gunn news, right, where he got confirmed to be like writer director of the new Superman movie, and it's like we can talk about that for a half hour, but it's like we'll just be burning time on the roundup. So we're gonna skip the main segment. I'm gonna go over the free game for this week, and then we're just gonna get into the roundup, which I did say was hefty. So this week on the Epic Game Store, free until March 16th, we got Call of the Sea. It's a first-person puzzle game. It looks fun. I mean, it's it's a whatever game. It's something to add to the library. So free is always a good price. And something I'm throwing on here. We're not going to get too in depth with it, but we do cover movies and media and stuff like that. So I'm just going to throw out a list of the movies coming out this week as a reminder to the people if they're waiting for certain things to come out. In the week of March 17th, we got Shazam! Fury of the Gods, All the World is Sleeping, Country Gold, Full River Red, The Innocent, Inside, Moving On, The Origin of Evil, Rodeo, and Wildflower. And I think the following week is John Wick 4. What fucking John Wick are they on now? Like
I
6?
think it's 4, yeah.
7 or some shit?
I was kind of over it on number 3, though.
I don't know. I mean, hey, that's fucking...
I mean, I love the movies, dude. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Keanu.
Yeah.
But we just need to stop now.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't feel like it's overstaying its welcome. It does kind of feel like it's getting a little played out, but I do like my Terran Tactical, modified handguns and shit. Yeah. So my $2,500 Glocks and shit.
Oh my god, Terran Tactical.
Terran Tactical weapons are fucking clean. So
he's a douche of a guy, but he's got some good weapons.
He could shoot like a motherfucker.
He's still a douche.
He's a douche, but he got that douchiness from being like really good at shooting shit. So I guess whatever.
He just teaches hot chicks to shoot guns.
Yeah, or he has like hot chicks like float around him while he has people like shoot guns.
I'm just jealous because he has hot chicks always at his place.
Yeah, at his gun range, he's shooting fucking
guns
crazy
and hot
ass
chicks.
guns.
What more do you want?
I mean, he's living the life.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get into the roundup. As you can tell, I sound like shit. My apologies. Fucking right after the show last week, drinking, streaming, playing video games and whatnot.
Boom, sick.
Just allergy attack, which led into like a cold, which started to turn into bronchitis, which destroyed my world. So it's like,
I think you live in a world of bronchitis.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I didn't get sick for fucking... I mean, I'm not even trying to trigger the conspiracy theorists out there, but when you don't get sick for like a fucking decade, not even a sniffle, and then you start getting some fucking vaccines, and then all of a sudden you're sick every fucking month. It's like, it's like, something going on here, but whatever.
Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, I mean, that's like really the only thing I can think of that's different, unless there's some type of mold outbreak going on up here in the Pacific Northwest or some shit.
Ooh,
but
there's a show about that.
Yeah, well, there's that. That's something I don't have on this list, but did you see that fungus?
Yeah.
In Tennessee, where it's like taking over towns and shit.
Yeah, and I said that's where I was like, dude, there's a show about this.
Yep, we're there. We're already there. So we're gonna get into the roundup. I apologize if I sound all stupid and shit. Whatever, it is what it is. First on here, WB looking to bring back Peter Jackson for new Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Do we need it?
I was gonna say, does the world need this right now? But I mean, we had mentioned on previous shows that WB is already looking to expand even more on that whole Tolkien universe and stuff, and I think we talked about it last week or the week before, because it's like, with the Amazon series, it was Amazon, right? Amazon series that they had.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, that it was like atrocious and shit, and I guess we'll just have to see. This is Peter Jackson. I thought he came back for the Hobbit trilogy, but because of circumstances, that's why it came out shitty. I don't know, but
I think they're just trying to fix whatever they did with Amazon. They're like, man, we need to kind of bring it back.
Bezos. Oh yeah, that's right. Bezos's daughter like begged her dad to like not ruin Lord of the Rings or some shit.
What does he go do?
How do they go and
The
fucking
complete
ruin it?
opposite.
Yeah, so we will see. No word on like when, where, how, who, and all that shit. Just Peter Jackson.
I think what they're looking at is I read it like in one of the articles. It's 2024 is actually one of the new movies, and I don't know if they're actually going to try to get him to direct it.
2024. What did you say?
2024, which was the War of Rohirrim.
They're already dropping shit.
It's gonna be anime though. It's gonna be animated.
Really?
Yeah. I don't
Peter
know if
Jackson?
this is the same movie that they're trying to get him to do,
Probably not.
but it's like a prequel that's set 200 years before Frodo and his buds went for a walk.
But which is where all the good shit. I mean, if you want to fall down a rabbit hole, I've mentioned it previously on the show, is that there are channels out there that are just like obsessed with Tolkien and like the world he built.
Yeah.
And they have like thousands of years of lore to go over, and just a little blink in the timeline is the movies that we saw. So there's like an entire, existence prior to those films, even The Hobbit, and very cool shit, very like wizard and sorcery type of, angels and demons type of thing, so the fall of Sauron and, him becoming basically a demon type shit. And
I mean, if they do it right, they can expand on this world like a lot, but Amazon kind of just ruined it for me.
Nobody wants to do it well. They just want to do it so they can get something out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
say
not.
that they were a part of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. But they had their shot at it. They can make their buck.
And then they ruined it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Next one on here, new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem announced, featuring a fairly beefy cast and sporting a style similar to the Spider-Verse. A little bit, kind of. A little sloppier than Spider-Verse, but looking pretty clean. Cast includes Jackie Chan as Splinter, Seth Rogen and John Cena as Bebop and Rocksteady. It comes out this August.
I don't know if I could do Seth Rogen.
He's in fucking everything, dude. He's also Donkey Kong.
It's just, his voice can only go so much.
No, it's literally just his voice. He can't voice act. They just keep getting they see a character, they see Seth Rogen's voice, and they just put his voice in there.
They're like, hey, this would be a good Seth Rogen.
Yeah, but whatever, dude. God damn it. I think it'll be funny though with John Cena, because it's John Cena. So Bebop and Rocksteady, those are always just funny characters, anyways. So I'm down for it.
It might fit. I'm just not ready for a Seth Rogen.
Anything. I'm cool with it, but it's his project. He's making it. You know what I mean?
I get it.
It's his thing, so he's going to be in it. I get it. So, also another thing on there is a dramatic change. I don't have this in the notes, but I'm just pointing it out because the internet was fucking irate. But a dramatic change in April O'Neil's design. I'm not going to get into the body shaming aspects of it, but definitely not what you would expect in regards to April O'Neil, the Irish, Scottish, English descended, reporter from the original comic books. But yeah, the whole race swapping type thing that people fucking just despise and flip out about and shit like that.
Well, the original one, April from the 1990 movie, was fit. The actual comic book character style.
Yeah, for the most part.
I don't know why we need to change it.
It's okay, we'll move on. But now it's people are like, whoa, oh my god, they changed her. How am I supposed to jack off to this? What the fuck? So it's pathetic shit. It's bro, this is for children, bro. Chill. Yeah, it's bro, this is for children. Leave it alone. It's not that big of a deal and shit. But yeah, there's some outrage going on. Me personally, I think it's kind of fun because it's they're kids, right? They sound like they're teenagers. Literally Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They're literally, they actually look like kids though.
They have the bigger heads, skinnier bodies. They're kind of smaller.
Their awkward stage of puberty.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was pretty risque at times, it wasn't some fucking Mickey Mouse bullshit.
Well, you take any of the original stuff that we kind of grew up with from the late 80s, early 90s. you watch it now and you're like, probably shouldn't have been watching that as a kid.
Oh, you're saying that as somebody who's been binge watching fucking Married with Children for the last like week and a half and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like,
And that was on Channel 11. I mean,
that was
like,
Channel 11. Watch this shit every day. I realized that had such a huge influence in like just my basic level of humor, like things I found funny and like and jokes I would tell people. You know, just like that. It's just the shit you watch when you're younger has that.
Why
like,
does Bud
implication.
always want to have a girl in his room?
It's fucking like blow up doll and shit. Fucking like that show's hilarious. I fucking love that show. Ed O'Neill is amazing, but like, it's just you watch that. It's like there's no fucking way that this shit would be made right now, like at all. I would say like heavy themes, but it's like
It's there.
I think it was Donatello. Yeah, I think it was Donatello in the original comic book got the shit kicked out of him. It wasn't Raphael like in the movie. Remember the original movie from like the 90s or whatever?
The 91.
It was Raphael that got the shit kicked out of him by the Foot Clan and, left for dead. In the comic book, I believe it was Donatello that got the shit kicked out of him. He was jumped and like left for dead. So like there's changes and all that, but I mean that's pretty adult. I doubt they're going to do that for this new movie. It kind of feels like it would be more of like a PG-13 type of vibe.
Ice Cube is the voice too?
Mm-hmm. There was a couple other people on there.
Post Malone.
I don't know anybody of like the main characters. I think they're actually like kid actors or whatever.
Yeah, they're legit kid actors. I don't know any of them. I don't know who these Ice Cube, Post Malone, Paul Rudd, like who they're actually voicing. But
Paul Rudd's in there.
Yeah,
everybody loves Paul Rudd.
You know, you cannot hate Paul Rudd.
his hot ones and shit.
Yeah.
Look at us. Yeah,
look at us. He's playing Mondo Gecko.
Oh, really?
Post Malone is Ray Fillet.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Cube is Superfly.
I got buddies who are still like into that shit. They're like, "Oh, I'm so fucking ready for that." It's like, all right, dude. Like, hey, like I'm down. Whatever. If you want to fucking keep, the Ninja Turtles going for fucking 100 years, then so be it. You don't want to let it die. So, we will see. Like I said, that movie comes out in August. Yeah, looks good. Next one on here, Hogwarts Legacy leads sales charts in the UK a month after release. It's like killing it over there. I don't have like exact numbers. I just wanted to point out the fact that
I think it's worldwide. It's like 12 million copies.
That was first week. It's been 3 weeks. Like, so I was like, I don't even know where it's at.
50 mil was like the last number that I had.
And that was like the end of the first week where that number like popped up. So
and then PlayStation's like, look at us. We have our Xbox and PlayStation. Well, mainly PS5 jumped up 300%. Just because of that after like a week in that sale.
Also in Hogwarts Legacy news, a delay is announced for the PS4 and Xbox One release of the game, now coming out a month later on May 5th. So we have 2 markets still not even included in their sales yet.
They want it to be crisp. I guess that's what they're saying.
Bro, like I fucking think that's a heavy game.
Like running that, is it going to sound like a jet engine taking off again?
I mean, I know for a fact that like my Xbox One, like it could barely handle fucking Dreamlight Valley and shit. Like my chick will be playing it on the PC. It's all like high res and like beautiful, Disney magic and shit. And then she'll be like in the living room playing it on Xbox because like the baby's out there and shit. And it's horrible. Like it's atrocious. Like there's no detail. It's garbage. This is fucking Hogwarts Legacy we're talking about here. Like these systems might burn out, dude. Like that's probably what they're doing.
Like, is it really gonna be able to handle it?
Yeah,
it's probably gonna melt.
I mean, that's why they probably need a full month. They're like, damn, this shit's gonna be like 480 when we're done with it, dude. It's like 480p and shit.
What is that over there? Is that I can't tell what's in the background. It's all blurry.
It's blurred and shit. I'm like, yeah, they'll find out when they get there and shit.
My eyes.
Rumors circulate as clues in CSGO source code hint at an upcoming CSGO 2. You've never been into CSGO, right?
No, I couldn't do. I don't have no coordination in hand, mouse, keyboard.
Yeah, that's a snap game.
Even if you tell me like you can hook up a controller to it, no, that takes away the feeling of actually.
Well, they released Counter-Strike on Xbox. Fun fact. Fun fact. It was actually included in Orange Box on Xbox back in the day. No, fuck no. Fuck no. Hell no. Nowhere near it. Like, Counter-Strike exists solely for specific hand-eye coordination. There's no fluff when it comes to weapons. There's no fluff when it comes to, like, certain buffs and things like that. It's literally like you got your AR, you got your SMG, you got your pistols, you got your sniper rifle, and you got your BR type weapon, your semi-automatic long range, like a scout. So it's like
Yeah, I
you
wish I had done
have.
that during school, and I got my ass kicked.
Well, I mean, it's fun, and there's other games. That's the thing with Steam games. There's an abundance of other things. When I play CS:GO for now is surfing. Some people out there, the OGs, might know what it is, but it's just manipulating the game's engine to generate a forward momentum on sloped ramps where you have to hit every ramp perfectly. You move your mouse and you have to strafe to manipulate these slopes to gain speed and end up at the finish line. It's a really fun, monotonous like type of game style that I've played for years. It's very frustrating, very difficult, but also very like rewarding. But when it comes to CS:GO, it's like still the same. You don't have classes of players, you have classes of weapons, and much like any other team-based game like that, it's like you don't want everybody running around with a fucking sniper rifle. You don't want everybody running around with AKs. You want people to be in their positions and to be doing certain things and using certain weapons, and it's a competitive game. It's outthinking and outplaying people.
Yeah.
So
it was more strategic too.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you need to be using comms. You're using your headset more than any other game on the face of the earth. CS:GO is absolutely reliant on your headset. It is a raw shooter. Like I said, you don't have classes of players who have like it's like, oh, you got the scout, you got the heavy. It's like, no. Team members buy guns for people that need guns for certain circumstances, and yada yada yada. So the CS:GO released in, what was it, like 2005 or some shit?
Yeah.
Remember I went over to Frank's house with our buddy Ray, and our other buddies were already there, like on a laptop playing. I looked over, I was like, oh, is that Counter-Strike? And they're like, yeah, this is the new Counter-Strike. I'm like, what do you mean new? Like, I went over there and I looked at it, and it was CS:GO. So, I mean, this shit's been out for fucking ages, bro. Like, ages. And CS:GO, I mean, it is the loot box originator. It is the ground zero. You can argue that there's like FIFA and stuff like that, but like CS:GO is the place where it's like, admittedly, I have done this as well, but you buy a 30-cent case, 35-cent case, and then you buy a $2.50 key to then open that case, to spin a wheel, to then get a weapon of varying levels of rarity. And with CS:GO, it is percentages. So it's like you could literally have like a 92.48%, clean. The closer you get to like 100% factory new, the higher it's worth. It's like you might have a certain pattern, right? Like let's say there's like a carbon fiber pattern that shifts between like purple and green or something, right? And based on how that pattern is positioned onto the model for whatever generated knife that is, for example, determines the rarity of it. Because some people want it to be almost all green, so they'll pay $500 for that fucking knife, or the purple part of it is what knocks down the price because it's so common. So if you only have a little bit of green, it's really only worth like $20. So like that's where all that shit started. I don't know what's going to happen with CS:GO 2 because they started introducing parts of the game so that they could flesh out more sales, like gloves and different types of knives and things like that, and then butterfly knives, K-bar knives, shit like that. So, I mean, these are the originators, so it's like they're the trendsetters. Can't really like bitch at them because they're the ones that came up with the idea. You can bitch at everybody else for exploiting it and making it like a common thing, And
then now they're just going to join the exploitation of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, making money. I think 20 years from now, there's going to be a pocket group of players still playing CS:GO. Just like there are people playing Counter-Strike 1.6. 1.6 being the name of the final update before the game shut down was no longer supported. Back when we played it, it was just Counter-Strike. You popped in the fucking Sierra disc, you know, and it led you to the screen where you can make whatever fucking name you wanted. any name you wanted. You could put any type of spray paint in there. Good God. Jesus, bro. Holy shit. Titties everywhere. Just titties everywhere. Fucking, you might go in there and be dongs on the wall and shit. And you're like, oh my God. Just mayhem. The original Counter-Strike was fucking mayhem.
And now everything just gets shut down or erased, or you get
Well, yeah, I
canceled.
mean, you get like they have to like approve the
Like,
sprays, and
ban
like you
email.
can't just put like a big dick in there and shit anymore.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like, what is this? I thought this was America.
This is a rocket ship. I just drew a rocket ship
Yeah, it's a rocket ship.
that
Yeah.
exploded.
No, it's
From
like a
the-
meaty, fat, like real world dong and shit. Somebody took from like a porno and shit. They're just like stuck it on the wall right when you spawn and shit. And like, so
This
just in
is super
case your
bad
mom's
one?
standing over your corner, your shoulder and shit.
It's like one of the he drew in Superbad.
Yeah, it's a guy like veins and shit in it. Yeah. Yeah. So like, you know, we'll see. Counter-Strike, you know, that's one of those things where it's like, fuck, we might actually get a Counter-Strike 2 before we get a GTA 6. What world do we live in and shit? So I don't know. Next one on here. Alien film announced last year from director of the 2016 Evil Dead remake. Starts filming this month. Also, the Alien TV series from the showrunner of Fargo is still in the works. Do you like any of the Alien movies? I mean, that's kind of like old school.
That is really old school,
Yeah.
and I think I only saw really the first one, and I was like, okay, this is cool. But other than that, I mean, are we seriously running out of that many ideas to make anything that we have to just revamp?
Yeah, well,
We're
I
in
mean,
that age now, right?
like they had Alien and then they had Aliens, and I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know, you get the general concept in space, and they're miners and shit, and there's aliens, and they get all eaten up and shit, and they got to escape, and that's it. And then the years go on, and then you get this kind of the crossover in the comic books between him and Predator. So you have that Alien versus Predator, and then you also have
Yeah.
all these games that come out. Some of them being like absolutely atrocious. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of the story, but I forget what it was. I think it was like Aliens Colonial Marines, I think was the game, where it was completely broken and destroyed and had like an absolutely destroyed reputation, considered like one of the worst like first person shooters and shit. And then like 10 years later or whatever, some random dude is going through the game code and was like, wait, this is wrong. And he changes like a single line of code and fixes the entire game.
He carried the one.
It was something like that. He's like, I had to remove like the question mark or some shit. And the game like fixed itself. And like
It's supposed to be
everybody's
an
like,
upside down question mark, not the upright one.
yeah, it's like just the Latino coding and shit.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so like it was like everybody's like, oh, this game's actually pretty cool. It's like, oh my God, bro. And then you get like the newer movies, like what's the other movies with Fassbender, Prometheus. A little headier. I don't even know if you knew that those movies were Alien movies.
No. I
Yeah.
didn't even know. I thought it just jumped to the Covenant one.
This is the one you would probably want to watch, because these are the movies that are like really artsy, but at the same time, it doesn't focus too much on the aliens. It focuses on where the aliens come from and like the story behind like how they've just gotten loose and shit. It's Michael
okay.
Fassbender is an AI who is basically just like bad. he's a rogue AI android that decides to,
I don't know if I want to watch anything with AI, as AI is now coming to
it's pretty scary, to be
relevance.
honest. It is one of those things where it's like it just decided that like humans are bad, so it decided to just lie. And when AI lies, like shit happens.
This is why we shouldn't touch AI.
Yeah. I recommend actually Prometheus, because you have the general concept of the aliens. You don't need to
Right.
know anything else. Michael Fassbender's dope as fuck, and like, the story is a lot more serious and taken with like respect to like, the art form of filmmaking and shit.
So it's a prequel.
It is a prequel, yes, 100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I recommend that one for sure. Next one on here, City Skylines 2 announced for 2023 launch. Features an awesome trailer with absolutely no in-game footage. Details like, I think it was like 90 or like 150 tiles that you can now use to build cities. Because like in the original game, I think you had like 9. So you choose like 9 plots of land to like expand your city. You ever play city builders like that?
No, it's not my vibe. I'm telling you, I have a very short attention span, so.
Yeah, this one is like you're playing God and shit. So it's like, you're looking down on your minions and like seeing how they interact with the world and kind of working with their needs. But this one, it's like you choose a plot of land, you lay out your roads. You got to build your businesses to support the constructions, and you need houses for the people that are working there, and it's just all the basic shit that the city needs. It's like you need sewage because these people aren't going to shit in the streets. It's like you need.
Yeah, you make them shit in the street.
It's like, well, you can, and then they all die of like dysentery and shit. But like,
that's dope.
Like you can't put the waste disposal above. The
drinking water,
like where it's coming from. So it's like you could like poison your own people and shit. So it's like one of those things where you got to balance everything and get everything, nice and in order, and try to live as long as possible. So it's like you'll start with a plot of land, and then you'll eventually outgrow that, and you need more, and you can expand. I think like 8 more times into a 9 cube area. Like a grid. You can have this giant city.
City with suburbs and shit.
Yeah, so you have like a neighborhood over here. Each neighborhood needs like an elementary school or like a bus stops and that type of shit. You need to connect all the parts so people in the suburbs can commute to the downtown to work and yada yada. You need to look at traffic congestion at certain times of the day, and putting in roundabouts to keep people from fucking crashing and shit. Like there's just
fuck roundabouts.
It's all that. All right, very popular up here, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm never driving up there.
3 coming up my street.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, they're pretty fun when you take them at like 40 miles an hour and shit, and like you barely swerve. So it's like, because they're not curbs, they're like rounded curbs. So your boy just burns through them.
I mean, they're stupid. People don't know how to work them.
They are stupid, but it's mainly because people are stupid. It's like
True.
as an operation, like what it does and how it affects like flow of traffic. It's actually kind of nice, but there's always an idiot involved, so it's always
people
ruined.
just don't know when to jump in.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you go. Like, what are you doing? And you see like somebody make a left. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's a circle. Yeah, I don't know. There's just that's the thing with people up here. It's like people drive stupider. Down there, people drive more aggressive and reckless. Up here, people are like stupid. You should not be going 35 miles an hour when you merge onto a freeway. Just to let you know. All you Washingtonites, just to let you know, you should be going the speed of fucking traffic when you get on the freeway, idiot. But yeah, anyway, I digress. City Skylines 2. The trailer was like, beautiful. It was gorgeous and shit, and had all this like, high-res city being built and all that, but no gameplay.
When you turn it on, it's shit.
I mean, City Skylines was known to be like the prettier one. You had like Sim City, and that's actually talking about this. This is from a company called Paradox, which I think is somebody from the Sims world.
Oh, okay.
That like went and made their own studio. So like they made their own Sim City, which is City Skylines, and then on here on the next one, also announced from Paradox, a competitor to the long-running Sim series called Life by You. I like The Sims because it's so fucking ridiculous. Like, that's a definitely you need patience type game if you're gonna play it because it's so like slow, but it's a fun experience.
It sounds like this guy just took everybody's ideas from Sims and just ran with it and said, "Make my own."
Yeah. Well, I mean, like this trailer too. It's like, damn, that looks like Sims. So, I'm always ready. The problem with Sims, and you ask anybody unless they're a bootlicker. You ask them, it's like, no, I don't want to pay $20 each for 17 DLCs. You know what I mean? And then the DLC be a park you can go to, and I don't know, a dozen and a half different pieces of furniture. It's like, that's not worth $20. I'm sorry, my guy. Like, I'm not paying $20 for that. But that's how they price their shit. Like, you go look. They never go on sale, like rarely. They do, but like their DLCs never go on sale. They have expansion packs and DLCs. So it's like they'll add the ability to go to like college. So that you'll get like, you can have a dorm, which is just a slightly modified version of apartment living. And like the person can now go to school, and that's just a different version of how a job works. It's like, it's they're not offering very much when they cram these DLCs out up your ass and shit. It's
Yeah.
like super expensive, stupid expensive. It actually angers me to like look at. I always talk shit to Maxis whenever I see like their tweets and shit. I'm like, oh, your DLC still like $40, fucker. So
That's
it's like
fucking stupid.
yeah, it like you just bring up their DLCs and be like, bro, I'm not paying for this shit. Like I'm not. It's like worse than. I think it literally was. What was it? It was like $800 or $900 or something for like all of the DLCs or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like it's stupid. It's not reasonable. I mean, I might be misquoting there. Let's see. I'll edit this pause out. How much is all of the Sims 4 DLC total? I was not exaggerating. It is $994.39.
That's stupid.
Yes, it is.
That is completely stupid.
That is
I'm
completely
sorry.
stupid.
They're DLCs, dude. Like you already bought the main game,
Yeah.
so as a DLC, that thing should be not half of the price of the game, but even a quarter of the game, dude.
All right. They just recently made the base game free. Okay. So like,
Okay, but now we just
it's like nothing. There's barely anything in
DLCs.
there's like barely anything in like the base version, because like really the fun part is making a house. Like you can just make a house. You can make it look how you want. You can do some like fuckery to like undo snapping, so you can organize and manipulate things to get certain things. So you can make like really cool pads. And that's what they're banking off of. It's like $20 for this DLC because it has those drapes that you've been wanting,
Dude, that's 11 DLCs since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
That is dumb.
Well, I mean, there's 10 expansion packs, 9 game packs, 18 stuff packs, and now 3 kits.
11
It's
content
insane.
kits and
Insane.
climbing.
Absolutely insane.
That's dumb.
So
I'm
we're
sorry,
gonna surpass $1,000 worth of DLC for that game, and there are people that buy it. You know what I mean? So I'm all for another experience like The Sims that is not like this. However, they may be making this because people will buy it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Hopefully, we get some more generosity when it comes to the DLCs on these, because that is fucking
Dude,
stupid.
DLCs should just be if they're like clothes and crap like that. They don't have to be half the game price. It just needs to be a quarter of that.
Well, like that's what they do, right? They have the expansion packs is like family pack. So now you can have a baby, and the baby will have its own needs and wants and kind of story to go along with it. The gameplay that you generate through The Sims is all your shit. So the things that you interact with in these expansions are very minimal in the sense that they affect your consistent play. They're just something to add and expand your experience of the base game. And they have like 9 game packs and then 18 stuff packs. So stuff packs would be like literally packs of like Halloween shit, Christmas shit, which your boy did spend the money on the Halloween packs.
God.
I do like my Halloween themes.
You're in one of those.
I think I spent probably, I mean, it stopped pretty quick, but I think I probably spent like $20 on DLCs. It was like City Living and Pets maybe, and then the Halloween one. And I got them all on like secondary market, like G2A, which do not use G2A. It's a fucking scam. Don't do it. Do not fucking do it. Like, yeah, you'll get away. You'll get some shit sometimes, but all of a sudden you'll start getting like Steam telling you to go fuck yourself and that your key was bad and shit. It's like they let you play for a day and be like, hey, where'd you get this key from, bro? It's like, they're like, yeah, so we're gonna remove it from your library, and if you can go back to whoever you got this from, that'd be great.
No.
And then you go to G2A and they're like, oh, well, you did pay for G2A Shield. It's that extra fee, but we're gonna have you go ahead and talk to the seller directly.
We can't.
The person that just sold me a fake fucking key or a bad key is going to answer my inquiry and shit? Like,
hey,
are you
bud,
stupid?
I hope you read this, but
yeah.
the thing you sold me the other day, it's bad.
Yeah, it's illegal and shit. It's not real.
Can I have my money back?
So yeah, like G2A is a fucking piece of shit. It's terrible. It's a crock. But if your boy doesn't want to pay $1,000 in Sims DLC and shit, I'll run that risk. It's like if I get those DLCs for like, I don't know, $5 and shit, like we run that risk. But yeah, moving on. Brief announcement. It's for anybody that has AMD and NVIDIA devices like graphics cards, right? They're PCs. So these are PC users. Get your ears perked.
I'm just gonna quiet up.
Yeah, you can go about your business, your Apple user and shit. But the new AMD and NVIDIA drivers, both of them are actually causing issues for PCs. Some blue screen of deaths. I don't think it's like BSODs for NVIDIA drivers. I think it's for AMD. But what it is, I think with AMD is that like if Windows decides to run an update while you're updating the AMD drivers, it'll brick your PC. So it's a Windows issue. They might have even gotten it fixed by now, but if you're having issues with your PC because you just recently updated your drivers, it's because they borked it. So, use your phone because you're not going to be able to use your PC. Use your phone and search on Google and shit to see how to resolve that issue because that was like one of those like, oh, red alert, everybody, like revert your installs and yada yada.
It's most likely on an Apple iPhone too.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Looking up the fucking directions on my iPhone and shit. Also in device breaking news, as in like actually breaking, Wii U owners like myself, who haven't touched their consoles in years, like myself, may find that their devices won't turn on. Reports of outdated, corrupted files that are left unchecked for prolonged periods of time on that console may actually brick it. So, take your consoles, see if they turn on. They turn on, get them connected to Wi-Fi, and I believe there's, your update process that you want to get it up to date and get rid of those corrupted files and all that good shit. Or you may just have a completely even more worthless Wii U.
It'll be a nice bookend.
I mean, a device that like half the world doesn't even know ever existed and shit. It was like a 2-year long stretch where that thing existed or something. I'm sure it was more than that, but the Wii U was kind of fucking weird.
That kind of sucks though. You're just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be nostalgic and turn this thing on. Nope.
Which is super weird because like I wouldn't even have thought about that. When I read that, I was like, oh shit. It's like, fuck.
Let me go dig this thing out.
Yeah. I mean, it's like right there and I still haven't done anything with it. I'm like looking at it and shit.
Just staring at it. It's like, maybe it'll turn on, maybe it won't.
Austrian court finds that since the FIFA Ultimate Team cards can be sold on a secondary market for profit, like we talked about with Steam,
oh no,
the game violates gambling laws.
How?
The lawsuit sent to Sony and not FIFA, the FIFA devs at least, because of the transactions taking place on the PSN network or PS network.
It is also Austria though, so nobody really cares.
It's like a drop in the bucket in regards to that shit. It's just certain European countries are they have strict guidelines in what gambling is, And if
so you're going to tell me that I can buy trading cards, but I can't buy trading cards online? That's what you're doing, right?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like they don't mind if you buy trading cards, but like much like real world, you can't take those cards and just go sell them without having the appropriate permits, paying taxes. You can't even, I don't even know if you know this, but you're supposed to tax barters, my guy. So it's like, if I trade you a stack of Pokemon cards for a stack of, I don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I'm supposed to report those to the IRS and shit.
You know what? I live in a country where we're supposed to be tax free. Many years ago, we fought another country.
Yeah, the goddamn British.
And we dumped their tea in some water, and and here I am paying $15,000 in taxes.
They got us. I mean, that's just how it is. Like they were already in the system back when all that shit went down. They just stayed in the system and slowly implemented more taxes until we're just as bad as Europe. But we do have a gigantic number of people, and we treat the small country. There's like 50 countries in United States, right? So it's like the concept of the United States is so different from like the European Union in the sense that we don't treat Texas as its own like country like you would, Austria, in like Germany and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like
Texas wants to be its own country.
Let them take fucking Florida with you, bro. Like, just fucking get the fuck out of here.
I mean, just that whole little section.
Florida being a joke. I only say that. I mean, like, it's like, you got fucking.
I still don't get how
some
this
good barbecue Mexican food.
How this falls under gambling laws though. Like, are people gambling? Like, hey, I'll bet you this match, and you we'll take these 2 game cards and put them up.
No, they're saying that
They're
you're
just selling them.
you have no control over what you're getting. You're spending money, real world money, one way or the other. Whether it be purchasing in-game currency and then using that currency.
Right.
They're classifying it.
Or something.
They're classifying it as gambling because you can then sell what you unlock in the game on an outside secondary market, much like how I sold my knives on CS:GO. I think I have like a video, but I've opened knives, that are worth like $400-$500 in the CS:GO like back in the day, and like sold them on secondary markets for just flat cash, like.
But I mean, you're gonna have to go through almost every sports game has this. It's not even just FIFA. NHL 23, you have cards that you open up. You have bags that you open up with equipment.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like
it's the fact that they're not doing anything to shut down the outside markets where people can take those items and somehow make them into real money.
It's because, exactly. They're finding a way that people are not taxing,
The reason that CSGO didn't get ass rammed was because that they actually went and did something about it at some point. So
I bet you somebody on the Austrian government was like, oh, I got gypped out of this and now we're just going to ban it.
Yeah, I wanted my fucking player, but I didn't get it. Ban this shit. Ban it.
I didn't get my Ronaldo.
Yeah, I don't know. FIFA is a fucking joke. The whole, it is absurd. Like, everything about the in-game purchases in FIFA is like the epitome of what's wrong with gaming and shit. Like, it's absolutely atrocious. The more you look into it, the more angry you'll probably get. Next one on here. Previously announced Redfall will have full crossplay between Steam, Epic, and Game Pass. We talked about that. That was that like shooter that we saw like a month ago or whatever. You remember?
Yeah, I think we announced this on the PlayStation one.
PlayStation one, was it? Or the Xbox?
It was PlayStation.
One of those two, but yeah. So they're looking for full playability, cross-play for PC. Game Pass would imply that you would play on, cross-play with that. I guess actually, I didn't add it. I probably should have. It said Xbox, Epic, Game Pass, and Steam. So it probably is, carried over. So that's pretty good.
Well, I
no
mean,
PC or no PlayStation, but
yeah, based on the way the gameplay is, it's team based. So you got to run around and kill.
It was like a 4-player like wave based game or something. I remember. Yeah.
It's basically zombies.
It's good though. You want that to be opened up, and we didn't talk about it, but like Discord and PC and Discord and Xbox and PlayStation and everybody being able to be together and talk together. It's like the novelty of you playing your PlayStation while, I'm on PC and Kenny's playing Xbox and shit. We can all be playing in game and using our comms, but not playing with one another on different consoles completely. Like that's a beautiful thing. That's just what you want in regards to a community, how gaming community works. It's like, if you're only a PC gamer, that's just existence. It's like, you can just choose to be on Discord and you don't have to be connected to your games to talk to people. It also makes in-game comms a little bit less active on PC because people are using personal comms to talk. But that's really no different than people being in groups in like PlayStation and Xbox and shit like that. So this is what you want. You want the borders to be kind of torn down and people to play with one another and stuff. That's good for gaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let the people play.
Yeah, let the fucking people play, bro. What the hell? PlayStation and shit. Nicolas Cage says, I don't need to be in the MCU. I'm Nick Cage.
Nobody wants you anyways.
Whoa. Damn, bro. The fuck? What you got against Nick?
God, come on, man. He's just stop.
What, you don't like Nick Cage?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really, I don't know. He's like a Chuck Norris type character where it's just like he hasn't done anything good in a while. But
you cannot fucking compare Chuck Norris with Nick Cage.
Well, I mean, for one thing, Chuck Norris kind of sucks, bro.
Bro.
I mean, no, like you look at it, it's
is that a knock on your door right now, dog?
Like, you look back and it's like, yeah, he wasn't like super crazy in regards to like the stunts he did and all that shit. His acting is pretty atrocious. Well, that's the same thing that Nick Cage. It's like he is kind of like a troll actor where he's like typecast. And he's kind of like fucking goofy and weird and shit. And he's like in his own little category.
Gone in 60 Seconds, greatest movie.
but even then was kind of like a caricature of like what somebody like that would be. You know what I mean? So
Ghost Rider.
The second one was crazy. Yeah. The second one was like nuts. The first one was really bad.
What else was he in? National Treasure?
Yeah, National Treasure.
I think there was like cringy. 6 of those.
He was very Nick Cage in that movie.
Yeah. We don't need him in the Marvel. What would he do in the Marvel universe?
Well, I mean, to be honest, he's actually he's like the nerdiest actor in Hollywood. He's like the only actor that's owned issue 1 of Action Comics. Motherfucker had a $1 million comic book at one point and shit, you know? So, like, I think he has one of the biggest collections of comic books, like, in the world. It's like, Nick Cage is a comic fucking nerd, like, to the core.
Well, he wanted to be in, I think when Tim Burton was proposing Superman Lives, or something like that.
Back in the early 90s, yeah. Written by Kevin Smith, by the way.
Ugh. Mm-hmm. Well, it would have been like 90s Kevin Smith, not before he lost weight Kevin Smith.
Yeah, even before that, he was kind of like pussified and shit. Like back in the day, Kevin Smith did not give a fuck. Like he did not give a fuck. He was like aggressively funny, you know.
Yeah.
There were some pictures behind the scenes. I'm sure everybody's seen them by now. The Nick Cage Superman pictures where he's got his fucking like long ass dirty hair. And his bulbous, fucking nasty, alien-looking, slimy Superman suit that got scrapped. So thank God. But if it was gonna be Nick Cage being something, it'd be kind of like what's his name did in Thor Ragnarok.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum in Thor Ragnarok, where he's just kind of like this witty throwaway character, you know, where you can kind of shove him in there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be a Nick Cage thing.
Yeah, like witty, crazy, zany type character.
Yeah.
But like for example, like I want like Keanu Reeves as Ghost Rider. I wouldn't want Nick Cage back as Ghost Rider. It's like I want Keanu Reeves as Ghost Rider because, you know, you wouldn't see him very often.
It'd be John Wick as Ghost Rider.
Exactly. Like you'd be distracted as a motherfucker. He rides motorcycles. He has a motorcycle company. You know, he's obsessed with it. He also likes the character, and he's stated that he wants to be the character. So it's like, yeah, I guess we don't need Nick Cage. Yeah.
I love Keanu, so I back up anything he does.
Yeah, anything you want. Yeah. Very generous, kind individual.
I like him.
Very, very positive individual. Even
Might
though
have his babies.
It's like, fuck me, Keanu. Yeah.
You're still fine.
You're still fine. Man, that's old school and shit. It's Camille Villegas.
Yeah, people don't forget.
People don't forget. Yep. Next one on here. Potential for the collector market bubble burst as rare Pokemon card is auctioned off for $480,000 and receives 0 bids.
Yeah, that thing was on auction for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
From like the 24th to the 6th.
Good. It was fabricated. The whole shit was fabricated. All that value is fabricated. These companies pop up overnight on the grading shit, and they sell them to themselves, and they grade them themselves. It's like, this whole fucking racket is garbage. The whole thing is garbage. Same thing with games that are being graded and comic books and shit. It's just, it's trash. So, you know.
I think another one, I think there's only like a handful of these one promo cards that it was.
Yeah, this is the Illustrator card. And anybody that collects Pokemon cards or has collected Pokemon cards, this was an old school holographic special rare card that has Pikachu on it, but it's a card based on the illustrator of Pokemon. So it's
this wasn't the Logan Paul card, right?
No, he had a Charizard. I think he does have an illustrator card, but that's another thing. It's like, did Logan Paul ruin it? Fuck yeah, I hope he ruined it, bro. Like,
5 mil?
I hated it. I hated the fact that he's not old enough to, like, he was not there. Like, he was not alive when these cards were being produced and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
These are things that, like, he grew into appreciate. You know, it's like, oh, my older brother used to be all about this shit when I was like 4 or 5. And then when I'm like 7 or 8, you know, I got his hand-me-downs. So it became my thing. It's like, bro, we were the ones that were like 7, 8 years old when Pokemon landed. You know what I mean? Like, we were out there getting the packs. We were collecting these cards. They weren't some fucking novelty from before we were born and shit. It's like if I went and tried to get like collectible copies of fucking Transformers figures and shit, and being like, I love this series when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't even alive when that series was out. You know, like, you're just talking out your ass. You're just, you know the culture, you know what's popular, you know that having it is going to put you on some type of like rep.
Viral
so it's like,
type
you
of
know,
thing, so
you're
that'd
exploiting
be
it.
like him showing up with a pog.
Yeah.
I swear to God, he shows up with a pog.
Shows up with a fucking pog, bro. I'm a fucking.
I
I'll
will
hit
throw a
something. I will
slammer
hit
right at his head.
I will
from
hit something.
wherever
and
I'm
shit.
sitting.
Don't you dare! Like, you know you didn't play fucking pogs, you bitch.
Seriously.
Yeah. So
Get
like,
outta here.
it's one of those things where it's like he might have been like 1 or 2 when Pokemon landed, but like, I don't know. He just doesn't. He's not about that life. You know what I mean?
It was
Like,
just basically, look what I can do with my money.
it was,
That's all it
and
was.
it's like I'm a kid at heart, and I want to buy what other people want. You know, it's like
No,
whatever.
he's a kid in general.
Ruining boxing. Embarrassing. Both those
Ruining everything.
fucking clowns. Next one on here. And WB has announced that Batman 2 will officially start filming in November. Not much to say on that one. It's a pretty
Another 4 hours?
decent movie. It wasn't bad. Certain characters and stuff in there are kind of annoying.
I think I
Penguin was
finally
dope.
watched it when I had COVID.
Yeah. It was
It was really long.
it's long, it's shot okay, it's a little annoying, but to be honest, it's the best Batman we've had since, you know, the Nolan series, so
Michael Keaton.
I'll take it. Damn, no. Damn, what the fuck? You know about the Nolan movies are dope. I actually didn't like Batman in the Nolan verse, but the villains were sick. John Bernthal confirms return of Punisher, an upcoming Daredevil Born Again series coming to Disney Plus. Did you watch the Punisher series?
Yeah, so I don't expect it to be where it was since it's once I read Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is really going to be downed a lot. And
Well-
I was sad when they canceled it on, or stopped producing it on Netflix.
Yeah, because he played that character like really good.
He did,
And-
yeah.
And it wasn't. Oh, I don't consider it to be overly gory. I do consider it to be visceral. The imagery that you do get, like when he's like beating people to death and shit like that, like
Mhm.
yeah, that scene is very like harsh, but it's not like the Punisher Warzone movie where it's just glorified violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like a tortured soul. They played very much into like the PTSD aspect of the character, the headspace of this character, and what he's willing to do. You know what I mean? So, John Bernthal said that he refused to return if they were going to like dampen down the character and remove things that he felt were like integral to that character. And then you have Disney saying that, yeah, they're going to 100% rock like rated R rating on it. So
I hope so. I hope it's not Disney's version of the rated R though. I hope it's
it is. It is going to be. It's not going to be like they're going to show people's heads blowing up. They might show blood. They might show people getting shot, but they're not going to have that like visceral back angle shot where you see the back of the guy's head explode and brain splatter everywhere.
That's the best.
Because
kind of stuff.
technically it's not necessary.
It is necessary to add to the show.
But I mean, it's like it does add to the show. But they're also going to do that with like Daredevil. Daredevil's
That puts
going to be
that
toned down a
goddamn
little bit
factor
too.
into it. Goddamn. What
And
about
fall to the
language?
ground.
Hmm?
Language is going to be like F-bombs left and right and shit.
You think so?
Yeah, they'll go with that. You also, I mean, you already have your standard swear limits being hit in pretty much all of these Marvel movies. You know what I mean? Like even fucking Mom, Multiverse of Madness had like swearing going on in it and shit like that. So
I don't know. You think about the Punisher and you just have this picture of what the Punisher is, and you're just hoping Disney doesn't fuck it up.
I mean, as long as they keep delivering scenes like he had in that courtroom. Like in that courtroom scene where he's like, I do what you people fucking can. Like, wow.
Yeah.
He's like screaming. I was like,
Yeah.
that's all I need. I just see that
that
fool being
spit coming out
fucking
of his mouth
crazy.
and
Yeah, he's like, you people need me, motherfucker. Like that type of shit. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like I don't care about anything else. Like as long as that fool is able to be that tortured, crazy motherfucker that you're just like, yeah, bro, get it. That's all I care about. But he plays that character perfect. I think he's probably the best cast out of any of the MCU characters on both sides of it, whether it be Netflix or Disney Plus or what have you. He fits that character perfect, and that is a character you do got to be a little careful with how you choose, because we've done some bad choices in the past, and they haven't come out great. But he's like perfect. He's also that right type of right level of popularity too. You know what I mean? Where people will go see it because he's in it. seeing these characters being brought in. Like you said, yeah, they're gonna get Disneyfied a little bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you got to go into it with an open eye, just only because you're coming from Netflix.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna go into Disney, and those people are still gonna be like, "Look, Disney just ruined everything." And you're like, "Hey, calm down, all right?"
Well, I mean,
just
also
be glad they're back.
You need to be aware of like the climate. So it's like they need to meld together and not feel weird. So it's like you got to give a little leeway, or they're just gonna clash, and
Right.
you don't want that. So they're gonna have to give a little bit. It's gonna become a little more Disneyfied. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's good to see him back.
Yeah. Sony makes baseless claim that Microsoft would sabotage PlayStation releases of COD with poor performance.
Still crying.
Like, what is that? I'm like, no.
They're afraid that Xbox is going to take over and basically ruin PlayStation and have people buy more Xboxes. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, well, there was a meeting too where like the main Sony guy was sitting down with Microsoft, and it like leaked where he said where they were like, dude, we'll give you a 10-year deal. You can still have COD. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Like, we don't care. Like, you want to make money off of you, put on your streaming services, do it. Like, that's fine. And he was like, we don't care about your deal. We just don't want you to go through with it.
Yeah,
like, we don't want you to succeed. Yeah, so it has nothing to do with it. They're just, this has to be shut down, period. Because their goal is to destroy Xbox, right? Like, without
I don't understand why, like, it's Activision. Call of Duty hasn't been the greatest in the past couple of years. I mean, just.
Well, then you got Blizzard. You got your breast milk drinking Blizzard and shit, where they're fucking sexual harassment claims left and right, fucking union issues.
Like, let Microsoft deal with that. They want to buy it. Let them buy it.
Did see before the show started. I think it's just a rumor right now, but that rumor circulating that CD Projekt Red might have been purchased by Sony.
See, there you go. Already making their own moves.
I mean, that's a big one. That's not some small little, Oh, they never stopped making moves, by the way. They were buying studios while bitching, while the court system was doing their thing, while they were filing complaints with the FCC, while the lawsuits are being announced. Sony's still quietly picking up studios in the background. But there is like a rumor out there where they picked up CD Projekt Red, and that's Witcher. That's Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, they got new series coming out. They got new Cyberpunk games coming out. They got, Edge Runners, I think it was their, like, show. That's not a small one, so they need to fucking relax. That's good. Like, that's guys, like, yeah, relax. Episode 2 of Mando Season 3 drops. Basically, all the details we predicted last week were pretty much accurate. Spoilers, we'll talk about it for 2 minutes. I mean, it's, it was pretty much, if you listened to the show last week, Garrett made some predictions in regards to what would happen, and it was pretty much accurate. I had a couple guesses in there that were also accurate. Also, he had claimed that they were spending only one episode on Mandalore. It looks like they're going to have another episode on Mandalore, so I think I was right on that, where they're going to stretch it out, at least be 2 episodes. So we get the Mythsor and all that good shit. We get the living waters. We get, Grogu doing front flips and flying spaceships and shit. Hell yeah. It was a good episode. It was very enjoyable.
I liked it.
I need to ask Garrett whether or not that R5 unit is the same one from A New Hope.
People mentioned it, but it wasn't. From
How do they know that? Like, what in what? Because what's her face says. I mean, for one thing, they're on Tatooine, so
right.
Check one. What's her face says, you need to basically comply, or I'm going to send you back with the fucking Jawas. That's where he was in A New Hope.
And he actually breaks like R5 does in A New Hope, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He like pops out all his little fingers and shit, and smoking and shit. But if it was, that might be a memory pull. But I mean, it's kind of cool. All in all, I like the vibe of Mando teaching Grogu how to be a space traveler and shit. I like that. It's not just a little little throwaway line. It's like he's showing him how to use radars. He's showing him how to fly. He's showing him how to control things, what to look for, how to like plan out paths and shit.
He knows how to do it now.
And then he does it. Yeah, he tells the droid to do it. He squeaks at him and shit.
Just points at it.
He's like,
take me here. The cooing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it and shit. It's all cute and shit. I just like the fact that he can use some force powers now and not pass out. That's always good.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit stronger with it.
Still not too strong, but he's not going memes like right.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He's not taking a nap after he pulls like a Skittle off the table.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. Chick loved it. It was just, it's hard to top that Babu Frick scene from the previous episode, though.
That was the greatest. Dude, I replayed that scene so much.
Nah, bad
Liz
baby.
was like, this is like so cute. Look at him.
Bad baby.
And then now we're just like, no, voodoo. We're actually using speak in the house.
No squeezy.
No squeezy. Bad baby.
Yeah, it's a good shit.
Just be like, hey, is the light work? No, it broke.
Oh yeah, it broke.
It broke.
So I mean, the series is looking good. It's chugging along. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, get on it.
Yeah, this one had a lot of Easter eggs in it.
Bethesda finally breaks silence as their planned release window for Starfield passes, announcing the game will actually come out on September 6th, and that we can expect footage in June. Pretty positive that game's not coming out in 2023.
For sure. That's another delayed game.
Yeah, it just happens to be right at the beginning of Q4 and shit. Like all of a sudden it goes from Q1 to Q4, conveniently just a few months away from the end of the year.
And then goes Q1 24.
And then it goes Q1 24, and all of a sudden we're a year out. Man, fuck you, Bethesda, bro. Like, Todd Howard looking like a fucking idiot up there. Just the same shit. Oh, this game is huge. Like, yeah, well, I'm sure it is. I bet you the fucking loading screens are goddamn 10 minutes and shit. Bet you the maps are super small because there's fucking 1,000 planets and shit. Like, I'm pretty irked about that now. Like, Bethesda is fucking trash merchants by this point, dude.
You went from 12 to 6 now instead of 6 to midnight?
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm kind of about that game, so I'll probably buy it anyways. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot because that's how I am and shit. Whatever. Tesla. Why you gotta bring a 2K, bro? Why you every fucking episode? Fuck all y'all. Yes, goddammit, I'm addicted to 2K and shit. I'm not bad at it, and because of that, like I can't help myself.
I'm gonna take you to 2K Anonymous.
Tesla under investigation as reports of vehicle wheels just falling off while driving.
High quality built vehicles. Here we go again, Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even like label it as like one. It kind of sounded like all the motherfucking tires fall off. And that's how the article read. It was just like they're driving down the street and all the wheels fall off and shit.
And just your steering wheel of all things. I'll take the screen falling off. I'll take, the trunk popping up or something, or whatever you want to call the frunk while you're driving.
While you're driving? Like, that would be fucking devastating, bro. Like, that would be fucking devastating.
Something that actually controls your vehicle, like, as a steering wheel?
Yeah. You might need your wheels when you're going, like, 70 on the freeway.
Seriously, like, you can't double check the torque on that one single bolt that holds the steering wheel to the car?
I don't know. Teslas just don't have the appeal as they used to. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. It's just a feeling I get.
Never did it for me. I don't know.
Yeah. Reports claim that Lego game creators TT Games has canceled numerous Lego projects that have been in development for over 4 years.
Yeah, that's gotta suck.
The thing with it is, like, the Skywalker saga is an exception. Like, it's voice acted. The controls are different. It's an over-the-shoulder type of game. It's a lot more fleshed out. It's gigantic, and there's an endless amount of shit to do. The other Lego games were kind of like baby puzzle games, so like, I don't know what we're talking about here in regards to like what kind of Lego games, but if they were like, I don't know, a Star Trek, universe for Lego in the same vein as like the Skywalker saga or something, and it was like fun to play and stuff, like, yeah, that sucks. Or Lord of the Rings again, where they redid it, or maybe a Harry Potter series again, they brought that back, and this time they're going to do the Fantastic Beasts series all the way through, Cursed Child and shit. Like, who knows? Like, we just don't know. But we're talking about multiple projects over at TT Games being canceled. And, I mean, I don't even know why. I didn't even get any details as to why. It was more one of those claims, like a leaked information type shit.
That's 4 years of work, though. That sucks.
Yep. Scientists have revived an extinct virus that has been frozen in permafrost for over 48,000 years.
We didn't eat that.
We We really didn't need that.
We didn't need that. We don't need this whiskey fungus growing.
Yeah.
We didn't need AI to be progressing as fast as it is right now.
Extinct virus, AI going crazy, quantum computing, comets and fucking meteors and shit flying
It
around.
was cool knowing you, bro. This has been a good run.
Yeah,
you know?
we got fucking robots that can somersaults and shit. Fucking AI that is like deciding that humans are like the worst thing on the planet and shit.
We got that
like,
robot dog that doesn't fall. You know?
Yeah, they had to reshoot that a couple times and shit. But like, you know,
dude,
like you can buy those. They're
Oh,
like
fuck.
20 grand. You can buy them right now.
I'm gonna have to buy one.
The Boston Dynamic dogs, like those
Yeah.
are purchasable items that you can actually buy.
I'm gonna need one, dude, because
It's less than a fucking like launch meter and shit.
put a laser on that thing.
It's like, do I want to get a fucking like a TrackMan or do I want to get a fucking Boston Dynamics like
I'm gonna
dog?
need the Boston Dynamics,
Yeah, I'll have that thing go fetch my balls and shit.
dude. I'll go get the Garmin one for $500.
I mean-
the Trackman.
Did you see Black Mirror?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm totally against all this AI. I'm totally against everything
The-
tech that we just can't handle right now.
I remember that too. The weapon on that thing in that episode was just so crude. You know, it was like
Yes.
it was like what they used to put down cows in like slaughterhouses and shit. It just had that feel where it's just like a robot effectively ending a person's life like they're cattle. You know what I mean? Like insane. And then you got assholes strapping fucking Glocks and shit to these things and like sending them out there to go shoot shit. And it's like, oh my god, bro. Like, we're so fucking dead. We're so dead.
We're screwed, bro.
Yeah, like imagine the AI gets into these robots, and the robots decide that these viruses are the easiest way to like clear us all out and shit. You know, it's like they're not susceptible to it. No, I just basically laid out our.
We're just putting all the
future.
fear into it.
Yeah, we're just choosing all the wrong things.
What do they call that? Fear mongering or what?
Yeah, fear mongering. Yeah, you're just worrying, bro. There ain't no, whatever, bro. Ain't that big of a deal and shit.
Black Mirror didn't show anything of what could happen in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a possibility at all.
And then you read all the AI articles, and they're like, "Yeah, we didn't expect it to progress this fast. It's learning really quick." And you're
It took 4 days to become a transphobe. It started hailing Hitler after a week and shit. It's like, oh my god, and shit. Like, yep. What do you got on here next? Epic announces release of its previously announced self-publishing tool for developers. I think it's going to cost $100, and people will be able to upload their games to Epic now, just like they do on Steam. Much like people can do for Apple on the Apple Dev membership, $100 a year. I think it's free for Google. Might be wrong. They might have, since I've done any web or app development for Google, they may have implemented their own little fee and
I'm
all
pretty
that
sure
stuff.
they do now.
Yeah, just to stop people from uploading viruses and shit. Burner apps that are used to strip data and all that, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, but for small devs, that's another market. That's still cheap, you know. Yeah, if you're willing to pay $100 to get your game out there, then you're most likely not doing it for nefarious reasons. Is kind of the concept.
You put a little $2.99 game out there, you can make some money.
I have some ideas. You know, I have a couple ideas that I'd like to get done, but it's a long fucking rabbit hole to get down to start learning it. It's like, fuck it, whatever. We will see, maybe. Trailer for RoboCop Rogue City drops. Looking pretty dope. Also looked like he was invincible. I don't know if you watched it. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
Very RoboCop. Just walks into a room with a bunch of armed people, and they start shooting him, and he's just slowly shooting people and shit.
Why is it nobody can hit him in that mouth opening?
Yeah, that's the thing and shit. Yeah, that is. It's like he's got a little bit of flesh on him and shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
Out of all the areas, why can't you just get it, like, out of all the times he's been shot?
I think they remedied that on the new RoboCop reboot, if I'm not mistaken. I think I remember that, where he did have like
full
it came
face shield.
down. Yeah, it came down to cover his mouth and shit.
Oh, I think I only saw the original RoboCop.
It's fucking classic.
Yeah,
Fucking
dude.
classic. Peak film. Cinema.
Dude, bro.
Cinema. RoboCop is cinema. Like, holy shit. Like, just that fool getting obliterated in the office building and shit. It's just like shot to shit. And then they're being like, I don't know. Like, I think it might be buggy and shit.
Dude,
Yeah,
the greatest movies comes out in the late 80s, early 90s.
I'm gonna play it because I mean it looked dope. I mean the high quality graphics and stuff like that, and it's a RoboCop game. So,
Why
you know,
not?
I remember playing RoboCop RoboCop versus Terminator, I think it was on Sega Genesis back in the day. I just found a game that I got to remember to get. I remember a certain little drop area where you can get unlockable. There's an Easter egg in that game, and I remember it from like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, or whatever the fuck. Yep, I'm going to have to go get that game. I remember that distinctly. But yeah, new RoboCop game coming out. Get ready. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League randomly gets delayed again. After gameplay footage is shown. Now coming out late 2023.
Early 24 now.
It's going to be 2024.
We're going on that wave of delaying games until 2024.
Like we talked about it, right? We talked about the gameplay, how it looked more like Batman and how it looked good. I guess they didn't like the feedback that they got from that gameplay footage, and they're going in and redoing it. So they're going to be fixing it up, making some changes. I don't know if that's the case. If they're doing it because they had a lot of complaints about certain things, and they're going to go fix that. I mean, that's kind of what you want. You know what I mean?
That's cool, but you know what? Instead of giving a month, just give me a year or a time of the year. You know, fall 2023. So I'm not expecting it by September, October. You tell me summer, I'm expecting, June, July, August. That gives me 3 months of window. That's cool. But you tell me it's going to come out in a certain month in a certain year. I expect it,
Yeah. I mean, I've already stated too, it's like once they start taking your money, then that's an issue. I don't think they have.
That was like you with Hogwarts, where, you buy the pre-order and then you're expecting the game come out, the following couple of weeks, and it's like, nope, we're going to push it back another month.
It was EAPGA, and it was only like, I think it was only like a week that they delayed, and I was ready to fucking burn the world down and shit.
Now it's going to come out during the Masters week. Yeah. Why not, right?
While I'm not here to play it. Yeah, you've been over that shit.
You come to my house, we'll play it.
Fucking, this is one of those things, though, where it's like based on how people reacted, they're going to go and make some changes, so... Not just some random delay that comes out of left field.
I mean, that's what they say. I don't believe anybody what they say anymore.
I mean, from what I didn't hear too much about it. I didn't hear any negativity about it, but whatever. It is what it is. A couple more in here. We're going to burn through them. Pretty juicy one here, actually. Pretty nice. Big. Oh, this is the Yeezys. Yeah, the Yeezy story. Adidas has no idea what to do with $1.3 billion worth of Yeezys. Decides to just sign a contract with Kanye again to sell the remaining stock. I had suggested, I don't know, maybe just donate them to needy.
No, you're not gonna have a bunch of poor kids running around in Yeezys.
Yeah, so they're just gonna side with a Nazi sympathizer instead and shit to just sell the remaining stock. However, it is Adidas, right? I don't know if you know
it's probably 50 pairs of shoes that are left, and
yeah, it's $1.3 billion for just 62 pairs.
The resale
whites.
on these things are going to go for sky high.
Maybe
because there's only going to be a short contract. It's going to be the last of the Yeezys made, and people are going to be like, never going to unbox them or do whatever. And I'm not a shoe person, but I could already see it happening.
Depends on how much people end up hating them.
No, because of the history that's behind it.
Maybe. Once you start siding with Nazis and shit, you start burning some bridges that might affect that type of outcome.
Look at the guy that buys a teacup that Hitler may have drank out of. The guy bought it for like a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
that's got like historical value, though. You know what I mean? Like,
so are these, bro.
Yeezys. Yeah.
This is our history now. This is what our history has come down to. Kanye West is going to be written in history books. And your kids are going to be, because I ain't going to have kids, but your kids are going to be reading about, you're going to turn the page helping him with homework, and he's going to be like, you're going to be like, really? Kanye West is in our history books now?
I'm going to show you my pair of Yeezys. Yeah, my thing was like, okay, well, it is Adidas, and Adidas was a Nazi Germany founded company. I don't know if you know that. Same thing with Mercedes. There are a couple companies that are incredibly popular, did kind of escape Nazi Germany a bit. They did survive. So, you're driving your Mercedes around, just,
I'm slowly switching over to Nike golf wear.
They had some let's just say the motors that Mercedes used were also utilized for certain things in some concentration camps at the end of World War II.
The ones that generated steam?
Yeah, steam. Yeah. So, there's some iffiness there. It's like, bro, that could have been like a tax write-off, right? Like, just, they're not worth $1.3 billion anymore because it's, That's such an inflated number. It's like, no, they're worth whatever a fucking $30 pair of shoes are now because nobody's going to pay that much for those shoes.
It goes along the Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is like
It's
they expected a certain amount of money to be made. So that's the value of those shoes. Even though the value has clearly not lived up to that.
They know
they're
the
still
resale.
going to.
Things.
Yeah. They know the resale. They didn't want to adapt. They sure as hell weren't going to give them to some needy kids in Africa and shit. You know what I mean?
That would be funny though.
It's Africa just inundated with Yeezys and shit.
Yeezys
hey,
all over the place.
That could have maybe helped with his fucking image. I don't know, like fuck, whatever.
No,
but
he has
generosity was definitely not involved with any of this shit.
No.
Next one on here, Beetlejuice 2, now in the works by Tim Burton. It will feature Jenna Ortega as Lydia's daughter, and Michael Keaton is set to return.
I don't know about the Jenna Ortega.
Are you getting burnt out of her?
It's everywhere.
She is everywhere.
The creepy thing, it's a Tim Burton again.
Yeah, but she pulled off.
Not to blink again.
The way she acted in Wednesday is very much Tim Burton. You know what I mean? I'm not saying.
I'm getting like a creepy vibe out of that relationship, director actress relationship.
Nah, I don't get that vibe. I mean, maybe, but I get it as more of like she's one of those like quiet, moodier, emo-ish types, and she could pull that off really well.
You think she's like the new Winona Ryder type of
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I think she's gonna be a little bit better than that, to be honest. Like the outcome's gonna be better for her.
Well, like young Winona Ryder.
In that sense, where she's typecast into like your more gothic.
Yeah.
I mean, you see her outside of it, and she's not like that at all. She's just a Latina chick and shit. Right. She's got like my mom's like frame and shit, like the wiry Mexican chicks, where it's like you don't want to fuck with those chicks. Like those are the ones where it's like, nope, those are the fucking. Those are the ones where you're just like, yes, man, whatever you want, please. Don't stab me in my sleep, please. Those are the crazy ones. Any Latino will tell you and shit. You don't fuck with the small ones and shit.
The small ones, no, I do not.
And she's definitely a small one. Do not fuck with them. To all you out there listening and shit. And
take note.
Yeah, do not fuck with the tiny Latinas and shit ever. You just mind your business and shit. I saw her on Hot Ones, and she tanked that entire fucking line of Hot Ones buffalo wings, and she did double final dab and shit.
And she snorted.
I mean, she's like rubbing her gums with it and shit, like it's coke and shit.
She's like, oh, it's great.
Well, she was like, I come from a pretty strong family, so I think I'll be all right. She didn't even fucking get watery eyes at any point, and the fucking what's his face was like dying across me.
Was his name Idris?
Oh, Idris. He's like coughing and shit. That's like the best meme ever. And shit. Like, oh fuck. Yeah. Pedro Pascal dropped, I think, this week on that. I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jenna Ortega fucking just came in there and just dropped dick. It was just like, whatever, bro.
Just balls on the table.
Kind of spicy, dog. Like, whatever.
I can feel it.
Yeah. I like sitting there just like nodding and like, respect and shit. Like, goddamn.
Give her the one chip challenge and see how she does.
Now, given she was eating as much as you would expect somebody her size to eat, it was like one bite.
Nipples?
Yeah. But I mean, she was going straight at the sauce and shit. So it's like, hey,
Just drinking it straight out of the bottle.
I mean, the final dab twice was insane and shit. That she did that shit. And what's his face was just like dying, bro. Like tears coming out of his eyes and shit. And he's like the senior veteran. And she's like, are you all right? Like, you need like a safe word or some shit? Yeah. Beautiful. Disney announces a new animatronic. It terrifyingly climbs out of a box, falls, gets back up, and does a somersault. We just talked about this. Quantum computing is going to lead to this thing getting a brain, and then it's going to go on a fucking running amok. Have you seen
you know where it's going to start? Fuck that. It's going to start at Disneyland.
At Disneyland. It's going to go run amok.
It's going to
That's going to be
all the rides and all the shit. Abraham Lincoln, first one to lead it because he's closer to the gate.
Yeah, they're the first to go. I mean, it's a little clunky, but yeah, it like climbs out of a box, tumbles forward, sits up, rolls over on its stomach, pushes itself up, and gets up on rollerblades.
And then pulls someone's head off.
And then it goes rogue and starts going crazy and shit.
And Disney has to shut it down.
Have you seen the Spider-Man animatronic?
The one that jumps from the...
Yeah.
Okay, I saw one where it didn't make it.
Oh, yeah, they did. There was one time where it did not make it.
Yeah.
Have you seen that thing, though, when it like actually does it?
I thought it was I honestly thought it was a person.
I thought it was a human being. I
And,
was
and
like, that is
my buddy had
like
to tell me, like, dude, that's not real.
like
I
the
was
Superman, like the
serious?
superhero pose that it strikes in the middle of the air to kind of like get its
Yeah.
balance is insane. Like it looks 100% real. But yeah, I also saw it come up short, and that shit was pretty funny. And shit.
Yeah. I think the one time, actually, I think we saw it come up short. And that wasn't good. And I was like, wait, was that real? Was that a real dude?
Yeah,
And
well,
my
it
buddy's
depends
like,
on
oh,
the angles
yeah.
because sometimes it's got to miss the guy that's up there that's sitting there waiting to like pop up and be like, I'm all right.
The live guy.
Yeah, the live guy who's
The
like
non-am.
cringy. He's like he's hanging off of a fucking like hook and a wire and shit. Doesn't look like Spider-Man like web at all and shit. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to Disneyland, but I don't think I'm going to go over to Avengers Campus. I might. I have ability to, but I don't think I am.
You should.
Maybe. They got booze over there. We'll see what's up. Reports claim 50 Cent is working with Paramount on a GTA Vice City original series.
It's already
About time.
trash.
About
It's already
time.
trash. It's on fucking Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount's trash. It
I boycott Paramount ever since they took Halo.
Yes. I mean, it really should be HBO that does that. It should
Yeah.
be HBO Max that has that series.
Well, honestly, this feels like, if it's 50 Cent, it feels like it's just that one show, Power. He was in Power. It was a show on Stars, and I kind of get the same vibe that, you know, Grand Theft Auto would have been.
Mm.
So that network should have been left to take that on, not Paramount.
Damn, we haven't gotten a fucking whisper of Halo. Not even a fucking, like, a silent fart about Halo, like, anywhere.
It may be done.
Rightfully so. How dare you? Like, how fucking dare you? Like, you don't have the right. And The Last of Us is a perfect example of what you should do if you want to do that, you know?
Exactly.
Just a slight tweak. Yeah, how about you fill the dead space in the game that you normally miss because you're walking down a road for 20 minutes and shit, you know?
I just can't believe they want to go with the season 2 because they did confirm it last year, but it's just,
I got to see where this season ends
I
because
don't want to see where this says in
season 2, I mean, I haven't played the game. Like I said originally, I only watched it on stream, but it's like, I mean, you know, anybody that saw that second game or played the second game know what happens in like the first like 20 minutes of the game and shit. I digress. Whatever. GTA Vice City original
Anyways,
series.
back to what we're talking about.
Yeah, Paramount Plus and shit. To follow,
It's gonna suck.
but yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, it's kind of hard to fuck up a GTA concept because it's really just like a street drama, you know, an action drama street.
Yeah, and
series.
like you said, you can do The Last of Us pretty much from this. You just take characters, what you have, you know, like NPCs that are walking around, you know, that bump into each other, and just roll with the story. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to You don't have to do a prequel story to, you know, how you got there. The game tells you how you got there. That's the gameplay.
Well, Vice City would be like an 80s deal, huh? Wouldn't it? I think that's when like Vice City took place, was back in the day. It was before like Liberty City and all that stuff. I don't know. We'll
Vice
see.
City's a Miami one, right?
Yes. That's why I figured like he would probably be involved with like San Andreas because that's the one that like everybody wants, you know?
Why is it gotta be San Andreas?
Well, just because it's LA and it's like, you know, like rap themed, like he's a fucking rapper. So it's like, you know, like when you go to like Vice City, it's very like 80s.
It's
you
City was what do you call it?
Scarface.
Scarface, yeah.
It's like, so you got
This is
50
the
Cent
same
doing a
exact
Scarface
story.
and shit. It's like, you know, what are you going to do? Fucking, I just think that because
I get what you're saying. It should have been San Andreas.
the rap theme is so prominent and the music goes hard as fuck in fucking San
That's true.
Andreas, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, you
can
know,
just drive around. The entire time.
yeah,
That's all I
like
do.
you think that it would be like he's going to play off the one that really has a focus on like rap and hip hop and shit.
Just
But
picking
no,
up hookers and listening to the music.
the good old days. Last one up on here. Follow up on the recent release of Dawn of DC Comics Universe, Wonder Woman, Steelworks, The Flash, and Hawk Girl runs announced. I'll probably be picking these up actually. I might start collecting some comics these days. Might continue on the pattern, but to all you comic nuts out there, you got these new DCU comics coming out, and they're expanding on it. You just had the Superman #1 come out, which was like I said, a really good, really good comic. If that's what the movies are going to be based off of, I'm super excited. We'll probably get a Green Lantern announcement here soon, I'm sure. I know there's the show coming up and all that stuff, which is going to be pivotal to the DCU, but you do have Steelworks, which is steel. You do have a new Flash popping up, and then the Hot Girl's going to get her run. So, you got Wonder Woman. That was obvious, but some decent comic runs going to be coming up, and that's indicative of what we're to expect in terms of streaming shows and movies as well, and probably games. So, I mean, if you want to see kind of like where they're going to go with all this, these comic books are a good starting point. So yeah, that was a long roundup. We're going to call it there. We're over there on social media, as always, at Nerd Chatter Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can find Nerd Chatter Podcast anywhere you can find podcasts, including Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, and basically anywhere else you can find podcasts. Make sure to subscribe, follow while you're there. Appreciate that. All of our episodes are uploaded on the YouTube channel. We also do weekly live streams playing various games and drinking. If you can support us there, subs, likes, all that good shit. Don't know if I'm going to stream today. If I do, I'm not going to be drinking. I'll be hopped up on fucking Mucinex XD and fucking try not to die. But that's just how it is. Might play some 2K. Might play Contraband Police. Alright, we might do a little stream later. If you guys want to come watch Contraband Police, we might have to, go on duty, see what's up. So I'm gonna need to step out of the view. Bought that game the second that it came out because it looks amazing. We played Papers, Please on stream, and that was fun. This is like that on crack. So super excited for that now that I just thought about that. If you'd like to support the show, you can head on over to our Discord where we have free games and Twitter retweet bots still cycling the news that we report on throughout the week. All the stuff that we report on, we kind of give just a general basis, but if you want to follow up on any of these articles, you can head on over to our Twitter. You can also support us by heading on over to our Patreon. You can find additional segments behind the scenes, and we're getting into some monthly commentary tracks. We're discussing what movies we want to watch. But that'll be pretty much it. Lucas, appreciate you, man.
All right, man.
I'm going to go take some medicine, chill out, try to edit this shit and get it up.
Try not to die.
Yep. And we'll be streaming a little bit later, hopefully. So, out of here for now. You guys take it easy.
All right, man. Later.